Hello friends, a warm welcome from Aussie's group. My name is Malcolm and I'm your PTE coach today. Well friends, today I'm back with the live session series on PTE definitely. And the purpose of this series is so that we can be of as much help to you as we can try to be. And we'll try to answer all the questions you post. Whatever you need to ask, you can ask me regarding anything in PTE. And also I'd like to share that many times people keep on asking like, is anything changing with PTE? Are there new questions which are being added? Are the new techniques? Is the pattern changing? So nothing is changing. Everything is the same. The same 20 tasks are still coming and basically everything is exactly the same. Today I'm going to focus on an important task just to start the session with. And that task is the first task in speaking, with which generally speaking the test starts, and it's called Read Aloud. Now, Read Aloud is a very, very important task. It's a task in speaking, but also gives us a lot of points in reading. So obviously it's an integrated task of speaking and reading both, because to read aloud something, obviously we need to read it first, only then we can read aloud something. So many of you would know that the main things in read aloud and in any task in speaking are generally there are two main things. The first is called fluency, and better known as oral fluency, and the second important thing is called pronunciation. Now both are very important, but generally fluency plays the upper hand, and which means that you need to be as fluent as you can, which means there should be no wrong pauses. There should be no sounds like while you're speaking, and you just need to keep on speaking almost non-stop, taking just the right pauses. Now, if you fumble, if you repeat words, if you omit words, which is meaning if you skip words, and so on and so forth, definitely the score will be impacted a lot. Definitely the score will go down. And generally when you make any mistake in read aloud, the score in reading falls much more than the score in speaking. And generally integrated tasks are such that it's generally the second module which has more points. Generally, not always, but generally. So try not to make any mistakes in read aloud, otherwise it could be problematic for your reading score. And friends, you can ask me as many questions as you like to. It's a live session obviously, so feel free to ask any questions in any task in PTE. I'll try my best to answer your queries. Now after read aloud, the second task is definitely repeat sentence. Now repeat sentence is again a very important task. It's a super high weight task and should not be taken lightly definitely, because to repeat a sentence you need to listen to the sentence. Only after listening can we repeat a sentence, and definitely repeat sentence is integrated with your listening score very, very heavily. Now generally there are 8 to 10 questions in repeat sentence. Approximately 10. Most of the questions are generally normal length. Normal length would be somewhere less than 10 words, but few sentences can come very lengthy in the actual exam. And by very lengthy I mean even around 14 words, 15 words, 16 words sometimes. So it's a bit difficult, to remember such a lengthy sentence of 14-50 words. So many times people ask me, and in general also people ask, like, what is the best technique in repeat sentence? In such tasks, I'll give a very honest answer. The best technique is bulk practice. And obviously the meaning of the word bulk is a lot of. So repeat sentence should be practiced in isolation. Isolation means practice it separately. Don't practice it with other tasks in speaking until you've had a lot of practice, or until you had a sort of a mastery in repeat sentence. I would suggest just practice it separately. Don't mix it with the other tasks in speaking, because repeat sentence is one of the main tasks in PTE, right at the level of write from dictation. These both are almost similar tasks, but both are equally important in their own rights. So please practice as much as you can in repeat sentence also. And when you practice repeat sentence, just try to understand the phrases in the sentence rather than the words. And always try to understand the tone in which the sentence is spoken, because everything depends on the tone of the speaker. For example, if the sentence is spoken like, it's a beautiful day today, I should say, it's a beautiful day today. I should not say, it's a beautiful day today. The sentence is the same, but the tone is not the same. So try your best to mimic the tone as well. Well, oh, I have a question already from Ovi Khan, and Ovi Khan asks that repeat sentence, I failed to memorize about 8 to 10 words. What can I do? So Ovi, thanks for the question. The same thing I was answering actually before you asked the question as well. The thing is that, as I said, try to practice at least 50 to 100 sentences in one sitting, not lesser than 50 or 100, because otherwise it's just a waste of time. Like many times people practice 10 questions, 15 questions, 20 questions, and then they just go to or move on to some other task. Don't do that. Just do as many questions as you can in one sitting, and also try to understand the phrases, as I said. Also, you can note down few things in this task. So there are two main techniques of noting as well. One very common technique of noting is noting the initials. So many times people just note the initials very quickly while the sentence plays, but noting the initials can be a bit risky in the actual exam because the whole experience is very, very fast. Yeah, you won't even realize how quickly the sentence comes and the sentence goes. So you can try noting the initials, but as I said, it's going to be very fast. And the second problem with initials is that if same initials are repeated, for example, let's say a sentence has 3 words with BBB, so, or even more difficult, let's say SSS. Now the sound S should be heard very clearly and very distinctly, and that's why it's a bit risky to note just the initials. So another better technique is just, if you're going to note, that is, just note down either the first few words or the last few words in a sentence. Just prepare your mind before you're going to sit for the test what you're going to note, because in the exam, as I'm saying, it's a bit disturbing because everybody is taking the test at the same time, a lot of disturbance, as I said, so it's difficult to think quickly in the exam. So just make up your mind what you're going to do and just be very relaxed. Whatever you do, just be very relaxed and just note down a few words. It might help, but whatever you practice, just do at least 50 questions in one sitting. As I'm saying, I know I'm repeating the same thing many times, but it's important to say it because it is important. So that's why I'm saying it number of times. All right. So hope that helps, Ovi. And yes, do practice repeat sentence from PTEtutorials.com. I must say that if you practice it from the website, from the tests on PTEtutorials.com, excellent sentences. They are so lengthy. They are almost 17 words, 18 words, 16 words. So if you can, practice those lengthy sentences, then in the exam it should be a cakewalk. You'll feel it's so easy compared to PTE Tutorials. And definitely you can also practice from the app, PTE Tutorials app on your phone. It's available on iPhone, iOS, as well as Android Play Store. So you can definitely practice from our app as well. All right. So I hope I helped your question, Ovi. Thank you for asking. Just let me check if there's any other question. Yes, there is a question from Musafir Hunyaro. I'm sorry. Your question is, sir, how to increase pronunciation score? So thank you for asking, sir. Pronunciation depends on only one thing, and that's the sounds which come out of our mouth. Now, many times people mistake pronunciation for accent. Accent is different. Pronunciation is different. Pronunciation mainly depends only on clarity. Now, I've seen many times that in the pursuit of getting a very high score in fluency, people speak very fast, unfortunately. Now, at the end of the day, PTE is a software. So if we speak very fast, obviously it will not understand the words which we are speaking, the sounds which come out of our mouth. So try to open the mouth more. As you can say, I'm not stressing on the words. Obviously, there is intonation in the way I'm speaking right now, but try to open your mouth as clearly as you can. Automatically, the pronunciation score will go up. And in English, there's another thing called plosives. The spelling is Plosives. So there are 6 main types of plosives. The sounds P, T, K, B, D, G. So generally when these sounds come out of the mouth, there should be the sound like P. For example, instead of population, you should try to say population. Instead of police, you should say police. For example, you don't say police, police, like that. Instead of T, you should say T. For example, technology, telecommunication, transportation. Because generally that's how native speakers speak. And as I said, the last sound was K. So instead of k, try to say k. For example, we should not say my car is parked in the parking lot. Sounds very odd if you say like that. It should sound like my car is parked in the parking lot, because generally that's how a native speaker would say. For example, even sounds like R. Sometimes it's full R, sometimes it's just a half R, just a hint of R. For example, words like bargaining. So ideally it should not be bargaining, it should be like bargaining. Half R, half H, bargaining. Because generally that's how native speakers speak. So just focus on the plosives. You can also YouTube the word plosives, Plosives, and automatically the pronunciation score will improve. Secondly, the software is very particular about two main sounds, words ending with S and words ending with D. That is SES or DED. So if a word is, let's say, sounds, and excuse me, if you say sound, if the S is not heard, the score immediately goes down and reading score will also be impacted, all right? So just be very careful with words ending with S, ES, D and ED. So hope I've answered your question, Musafir Yaro. Thank you. Well, there's one more question from Man Sada. He's asking, if you could not mimic the tone, is it going to affect the listening score? So this question is pertaining to repeat sentence. No, it's not going to affect the score as much, but still you should try, because that's what the guidelines says, that you should try. So who are we to, oppose the guideline? We should also try. See, the basic premise of PT scoring is, if you do one mistake, it's okay. If you do the same mistake twice, it may impact your score. If you do the same mistake n number of times, that is more than 2 times, finished. The score is going to be impacted, guaranteed. And obviously here we want to maximize our score. So everything is on a best efforts basis. We try. If you can do it, good. Otherwise, forget it, just move on to the next question. But it's not going to, affect your score. No, it's not going to affect. Just try to mimic it. That's it. All right. So hope I've helped your question as well. I've answered your question. Thank you. Well, Sumbal Adnan is asking. Hi Sumbal, thanks for joining the session. He's asking, how can we increase writing and listening score? Should we use a template? Well, honestly, I'm not in favor of using templates, because template means sort of, lengthy sentences which don't give any score in content. Templates are good only for writing score. They are not good for the content score. So honestly, I would not suggest templates. Rather than that, you can suggest, or you can follow a structure, so as to say. Because templates, again, you have to memorize, and memorizing is never a good form in English, in any test of English, I would say. But if your target score is, let's say, 65 or something like that, around 65 each, you can follow templates. If you're looking for a score more than 79, especially in tasks like summarize spoken text, try not to follow templates. I would not recommend following templates. You can follow any good structure for essay or summary, you can follow. And if you want to increase your listening score and writing score both, just work on the integrated tasks which are in both listening and writing. So there are 3 main tasks. The first task is summarize spoken text, the first task in listening. The second task is listening, fill in the blanks, which is generally task number 3 in listening. And the third task is write from dictation, the last task in the exam, which is generally task number 8 in listening. So just focus on these 3 tasks. Automatically your writing score will improve, your listening score will improve. If there are no mistakes in these 3 tasks, generally the score in writing is very, very high. But the only criteria is there should be no mistakes. If there are mistakes, again, it's a problem. All right, Sumbal, thanks for asking the question. Well, Ovi is also asking that another problem is pronunciation. How can I improve quickly? So as I said, Ovi, to improve quickly, just work on plosives. Plosives are the sounds which come out of the word, out of your mouth when the word ends. And for example, let's say the word is stop, stop. So actually the sound should also stop, the air should stop coming out of your mouth. But the problem is people stretch words, people stress on words. For example, people say like stopper. It's not very common also, but people do have mother tongue influence and people do have some accents. So generally I would suggest that the best accent is being accent neutral. There should be no accent. If there is no accent, you generally get a very high score. So please don't stress and please don't stretch words. Be very clear, be very articulate with the pronunciation. Automatically the score will go up, guaranteed. Okay, let me see another question. Basu Bandari is asking, hi Basu, thanks for joining in. Basu is asking how to score in writing while my written discourse is 90 all the time. Well, Basu, this is a very common thing. Thanks for asking firstly. The thing is that written discourse is mainly impacted by the tasks in which you actually type. Type as in essay and the summaries. Except these two, it's not impacted. Now, the actual writing score depends on many tasks. It actually depends on 6 tasks. One is summarize written text. Second is write essay. Third is reading and writing fill in the blanks, which come in the reading module. Fourth is summarize spoken text. Fifth is listening fill in the blanks. And sixth is write from dictation. So all these 6 tasks impact the writing score. Now, since you're getting 90 out of 90 in written discourse all the time, it means that you're pretty good with your actual writing skills, essay writing and summary writing skills. But it means that you still need to work on the reading drop-down blanks because those impact the writing score very heavily. Secondly, be sure that all your listening blanks are 100% right. And thirdly, be sure that write from dictation is 100% right. If you focus on these 3 tasks, generally you will get a 79 plus score easily in writing as well. All right. Hope I've answered your question. Thank you for asking. Well, thank you Sumbal. Thank you for asking. Well, Devendra Rajput is asking how to score in repeat sentence. Any tips and tricks? Yes, Devendra, before some time I just was talking about repeat sentence itself. Repeat sentence is difficult for many test takers because unfortunately it requires a part of your memorization skills. But as the old saying goes, practice makes a man perfect. So just practice 100 questions a day. It sounds a lot, honestly. So yes, initially you will have to give it some time, but just don't give up. Just keep on practicing at least 50 to 100 questions a day. Initially, it will take you, let's say, 2 hours for 100 questions. Second day, it will take you 5-7 minutes less. Third day, you'll be able to do 100 questions much faster. And the fourth day, it'll be super fast. In 40 minutes, you'll be able to do 100 questions. Actually, even in the actual exam, in 1 minute, generally 3 sentences can be solved. And actually, they will be solved in repeat sentence because the test is so fast. So even in the actual life practice scenario before the exam, we should practice at that rate. So do record your answers also. Practice in sets of 20 questions each. Record the question, record the answer, do it 20 times for 20 questions, and then check your answer. Repeat this cycle 5 times. So 20 into 5, 100 questions a day. If 100 is too much for you, do at least 60 questions. It's just about practice. Understand the phrases in the sentence, understand the tone in which the sentence is spoken, and then try to replicate it. If you practice it, obviously you will be a master in this task, but the only thing is a bit of practice. All right, so thank you for asking. Let me see if there are any other questions. Just give me a minute. Rafael is saying I'm the best teacher. Thank you so much, Rafael, for your comment. Highly appreciate it. Thank you very much. All right. So I'm done with almost all the questions over here. If you have any more questions, please feel free to ask the questions. Now, we talked about 2 tasks. The first was read aloud. The second was repeat sentence. Now, the third task in speaking is called describe image. We have an image in front of us. We get 25 seconds to see the image, and then there is a time of 40 seconds in which we have to describe the image. Now again, remember friends that describe image is a pure speaking task. It is not integrated, which means you don't get points in reading or listening from describe image. It's just speaking, which means that 2 things matter. First is how you speak, and second is what you speak. Now, how you speak means the flow, the fluency and the clarity, and what you speak means the content. Now in describe image, many times people panic because of the content part, and people confuse themselves because they try to analyze the image. Now remember friends, the name of the task is describe the image, not explain the image. So we don't have to analyze the image. We don't need to, understand or explain the image. It's just an image. Convert the picture into words. So you can be fluent, but it requires a bit of practice again. And even if you make a mistake and describe image, don't correct yourself. Just keep on speaking with the flow. Because if you correct yourself and if you pause, obviously you'll fumble. If you fumble, the fluency goes down. If the fluency goes down, you know what happens. Everything goes down in speaking. And if speaking goes down, every other module goes down with it. So try not to fumble and try to speak fluently. Also, don't be very fast, because I've seen many times people memorize templates in describe image. Now again, nothing wrong with a template, but as I said, sometimes due to disturbance, we ourselves might not be aware of our speed of speaking. So sometimes people speak very fast in describe image because they have a template in their head. They want to get rid of that template as soon as they can. So they speak like a bullet train, but that's not the right way of speaking, because if we are not clear, the software won't pick up the phrases, it won't understand the words, and obviously pronunciation might be affected. So try to be clear. Just try to cover a few numbers and few words from the screen. As many words you cover, the better for you. More numbers, the better for you. If it's a bar graph, talk about the x-axis, y-axis, compare the maximum with the minimum, and so on and so forth. And in the conclusion, you can just say, overall, it's a very interesting bar graph where the maximum value is this and the minimum value is this. Just be confident. That's the main thing. Well, there's one more question from Maan Sada. He's asking, how can we practice listening, fill in the blanks? Our issue is word spelling. Well, thanks for asking that, Man. And honestly, many people, even people who are grown-ups, even they have issues with spelling. So firstly, you're very honest in admitting that spelling is an issue. It is an issue with many people. Well, to improve spelling, the only thing is we need to start writing the spelling. So sometimes, even I find it hard to believe, but my own students sometimes who have a slightly weaker background in English, they put in so much effort. I don't have their books right now. I'll show you their practice books. Same word, they try to write, 10 or 15 times, because sometimes you do get tricky words also. And it's sometimes, the easier words, but when they come in the exam, it's a bit tricky. We know the spelling, but then double thoughts start coming in the mind. For example, words like hypothetically, like should we use a single L? Should we use a double L? So on and so forth. So best I would suggest is just practice as many blanks as you can. There are many good sources on YouTube as well. And definitely you can practice from PTE Tutorials. On the app itself, the quality of the questions is good. Even from the website, you can definitely practice listening, fill in the blanks. The level is pretty good. And if you can do well in those tasks, generally it's going to be easy in the actual test. To make the practice session a bit more harder, you can always keep some background disturbance on. For example, you can keep some music on, you can keep some TV on, so that your mind is distracted. Because even in the actual exam, listening blanks can be very fast, the accents can be difficult, and then it can be a bit tricky. Also for listening blanks, I would suggest you can practice from BBC English. It's an excellent app for learning English, and there are many such examples as well, so many such exercises as well. Another very good source is called 1 Minute Science. It's called the Scientific American, It's called the Scientific American if I'm not mistaken. And you can just Google it, 1 Minute Science. You'll get many videos on the website, which I just said. It's pretty good for practicing blanks. And there's also the channel called TED Talks on YouTube. So the only thing is concentration. Because even in listening blanks, you get many tricky ones like ending with S, ES, D, ED. So that's the risky thing in blanks. Even if you make a single mistake, listening goes down, writing score definitely goes down, because a spelling mistake will not be tolerated by a software, obviously. So, hope I helped your question as well. Well, Kaur Talvinder is asking, hi Kaur Talvinder, thank you for joining in. Your question is, how to improve retail lecture? I easily got bands in speaking, but listening scores are low. Where I have to focus more to get high score in listening. Thanks in advance. So Talvinder, If your listening score is low and your speaking score is high, the problem could also be in repeat sentence, could also be in retail lecture. And just believe me when I say that even if you're getting a 90 out of 90 in speaking, it does not necessarily mean that you're not making mistakes. And it does not necessarily mean that you're not picking up the main content. Now, retail lecture, the words you speak definitely give points in listening. So simplest solution in retail lecture is quick noting skills. Note as many words as I can, I would recommend. The more words you have on the paper, try to cover them in your answer. When you are repeating the words, don't worry much about the grammar, okay? Grammar is not that important, honestly. You can make a few mistakes, so software will definitely tolerate it. The main thing is fluency, because most of the people struggle with sentence formation in retail lecture, and then they keep on saying the same sentences again and again. The speaker is talking about blah blah blah, moreover the speaker is also saying, furthermore the speaker is also saying, also the speaker is saying. Instead of that, just note as many words as you can. Try to include as many words as you can in your answer. As I'm saying, it's always the words from the audio which get us points in listening. So basically, content is what you speak, fluency is how you speak. Because you're fluent, your speaking score will be very high, as you're already mentioning. But if you don't have enough content, listening may fall down. And also analyze the way you practice repeat sentence, because repeat sentence is also a super important task for listening. All right. So I hope I've helped you and answered your question as well. Thank you, Dalvinder. Well, Ovi Khan is stating, really appreciate your effort. Thank you, Ovi. What can we do for read aloud practice? Well, for read aloud practice, start reading anything and everything, I would suggest. For example, this is a bag lying in front of me. I don't know if you can see it in the video or not. Maybe you will be able to see it in some time. Well, nothing much is written over here, but like I personally have a habit, whatever comes across me, I just start reading. I don't start reading aloud, but I just start reading because the mind is a bit inquisitive. I want to know more and more and more and more. So just start reading. Whatever comes in front of you, just give it a go. You can also read newspapers, definitely excellent for reading. And just sit in front of a mirror. And I mean, you don't even need a mirror, honestly. You can just record your own speaking on your phone and just listen yourself. Many times we want the feedback from people who have taken the test, from mentors in PT or whichever test of English it is. But honestly, the simplest barometer is our own mind. For example, if I listen myself speaking, if I'm not convinced with the way I sound, how will I convince the software? So that's the main thing. You should be happy with your performance. If you are happy, only then the software is going to give you a good score. And as I said, you can also go to YouTube, just search Read Aloud, that's it. You'll get thousands and thousands of videos. You'll see also maybe many real test questions. Just start practicing, just start reading. And as I said, again, I'll repeat it. Don't be very fast in Read Aloud. Focus on clarity. Everything is clarity. Open your mouth more. Automatically the sounds will improve and automatically the words will be very clear. Don't stress too much on the words and don't stretch the words at all. Just speak like a normal speaker of English would and try to be accent neutral, all right? So thank you, Vic. Thank you for asking the question. Well, there is one more question from Pradeep Kaur. Hi Pradeep, thanks for joining. Please explain the marking guide for WFD. For all those of you who don't know, WFD means write from dictation. Now Pradeep, the marking guide for WFD is very simple. PT says you get 1 point per word. That's what PTE guideline says. But the problem is, PT doesn't mention what that 1 point is. Is it actually a point out of 90? What is that point? PT doesn't say. Is it like half mark, 1 mark, 3/4 mark? That we don't know. But for example, if you get 3 sentences, every sentence has 10 words. So as per the guideline, that's 30 points. 1 point per word, 30 points, 30 words. So it won't exactly translate to 30 points out of 90, I would say, but still it's going to give you a lot of points. So I have a very simple funda for write from dictation. That's what I tell to all the students also. whatever happens, right from dictation should be 100% right. That's all. If there are mistakes, you will pay the price for that. Very simple. So try to practice it as much as you can. Instead of analyzing too much about the scoring, just focus on the sentence. And as I said in repeat sentence also, try to understand the sentence in phrases. Because in write from dictation, there are two mistakes which are very common. The first mistake is of words like a and the, because these words are spoken very fast in the sentence sometimes. And the second mistake is of singulars and plurals. So even if people note down the initials, they make a mistake of singulars and plurals. Just a simple rule should be enough. The rule that says that with a singular noun, a plural verb will follow. And with a plural noun, a singular verb will follow. For example, a student sits on the chair. Student, singular, sits with S. If the reverse, what will happen? The students sit on chairs. So students sit, student sits. So just be very careful, and eventually it's a skill of listening. And just like repeat sentence, even write from dictation should be done in a bulk practice mode. So always practice like 50 questions of write from dictation as well. And one more suggestion is that whenever you want to practice write from dictation, practice it at the end of the day before you are going to sleep. Because even in the actual exam, write from dictation is the last task. And by the time we reach write from dictation, the mind is already exhausted. Same thing happens at the end of the day. Obviously, you'll be tired from your work. So practice write from dictation just before you sleep, like 30 minutes, 30 questions, rapid fire practice, rapid fire round like that. And it will be helpful. All right. So thank you for asking. So Musafir Yaro is asking, in describe image, is conclusion mandatory? No, nothing is mandatory, but it's recommended. It's advisable, and it need not be an actual conclusion. You can just say to conclude, and then just say whatever you're going to say. You can just say overall, lastly, finally, that's it. Then just say what you're going to say. Doesn't matter. You don't have to actually conclude. It's just recommended that you end on a concluding note. That's it. All right. But even if you don't say, it's okay. It's not going to impact your score much. Okay. All right. So Taj Sidhu has a question. Good evening. Good evening to you, Taj. Taj is asking, sir, please tell me, how can we score more in write from dictation? Sir, see, there are two types of tasks. First are tasks like where you can actually build up your score. For example, fill in the blanks. The more blanks you get right, the more points you get. And secondly, there are tasks like write from dictation where you have to save your score. Because every mistake you make, the score goes down very quickly maybe. So how can you score more? By being more accurate. How to be more accurate? Obviously with more practice. So just practice write from dictation, as I just said like 2 minutes back. Practice at least 50 to 60 write from dictations every day before you sleep, I would recommend. The more you practice, the better your flow will be. And just be very careful with the words ending with S, ES, the. Very important, all right? So I hope I answered your question, Taj. Thank you for asking. Salman Sabir is asking, what is the criteria for speaking? As some people have low pronunciation and fluency, still got 79 plus, while others not. Well, Salman, you answered the question yourself. There is no like criteria, but from all the enabling skills in the scorecard, fluency is most important for your speaking score. The meaning of fluency is rhythmic, natural speaking in flow. So basically, try to be as fluent as you can be. Even if your pronunciation score is low, high chances your speaking score could be high. Depends on many other things also, but generally that is the case. For example, if oral fluency is 90, if pronunciation is 40 plus, still the speaking score can easily be 90. If pronunciation goes below 40, then it's a bit of a problem. So try to be as clear as you can be in tasks like read aloud and repeat sentence. The more clearer you are, the higher the score will be. All right. So, but yes, obviously focus on oral fluency. Definitely very, very important. Well, Salman also has another question. Can you tell us the perfect mic position for thick voice as well? Yeah, definitely. The best mic position is this. It's somewhere below the lips. So somewhere below the lips and somewhere above the chin. So generally we have the long handled mics in most of the test centers around the world. So I don't have a mic right now, I'm just looking for it, but no, I can't find it. But generally the best position is, as I'm showing with my finger, it's slightly, slightly below the tip of your lips. So slightly below would be the best position. Sometimes people also keep it over here, parallel to the nose. Again, you can keep it over there as well, but I would not recommend that position. Many times female candidates put it over here, somewhere parallel to the nose. But the problem is that sometimes people are a bit soft spoken and it might be a bit too far away from the mouth. So best is try to keep it somewhere below the lips. And yes, never keep it in front of the mouth. Otherwise the air which you breathe, for example, this air goes in and then it's going to be a problem, all right? So below the lips. All right. Well, one more question. Ranjit Singh is asking, which are the keywords in listening, retell, lecture and summarize spoken text? Thanks for asking, Ranjit. Well, the main keywords are what we call the repeated words. So obviously if words are repeated again and again, they automatically become keywords. Also, if names are repeated again and again, they again become keywords. Whatever is repeated is a keyword. Also, if you think that something is in the tone of an instruction, for example, people must do this, you should do that, they must do that. Obviously, it's important because it's sort of an instruction. And lastly, whether it's retell, lecture, whether it's summarized spoken text, it is the same thing. And at the end of the day, it's a summary. Summary means overview. Overview means introduction plus body plus conclusion. So try to pick up words from the intro and conclusion, because intro and conclusion are very important, obviously, for the summary to be in flow, for the lecture to be in flow. So try to include words from the introduction and conclusion definitely, and go for the repeated words always. Hope I answered your question. Thank you. Well, Taj Sidhu also asks, how about SWT? How to write? Well, summarize written text is definitely an integrated task of writing and reading both. So the best technique in summarize written text is that as soon as a passage comes on your screen, start reading it obviously. And along with reading, start writing also. Like sometimes people read the whole thing and then they write. That also can be done. Or while you're reading, you just start writing also. Just try to pick up the main points. Now again, summarize written text obviously depends on, reading depends on summarized written text. So you need to have a keen understanding of the main content. So let's say there are 3 or 4 paragraphs. Obviously you need to pick up the right content from the paragraphs. Now, how to find out the content, that is again a debatable question. But generally you will see that the first or the last lines of every paragraph could have something important. I'm not saying it will be important, it could have something important. But yes, since it's a passage and we have to write a summary, introduction and conclusion definitely important. So don't miss anything from the introduction or conclusion. Also try not to make very complex sentences. Try to keep your English simple and be careful because you can use only one full stop at the end. So if it's a very lengthy sentence, again it's a problem. If it's a very short sentence, then the content score might go down because we might not have enough content in our summary. So don't write very short summaries, don't write very lengthy summaries also. Just write simple phrases. Don't pick up phrases exactly from the passage. You can pick up words from the passage and then just make a story, make a summary. Because the instruction in summarized written text very clearly says that your response will be judged on the quality of your writing. Those are the words written in the score guide also. Now, the words are quality of your writing, not PT's writing. So obviously it should be your writing. So definitely a bit of paraphrasing is good. But be careful in paraphrasing also, because if content is missing, then the score is also missing. The score goes down. So just be careful with paraphrasing also. All right. Hope it was helpful. Well, Abhishek Luthra asks, hi sir, tips on writing. Abhishek, thanks for joining in. You are very listening. So just be careful with the fill in the blanks, which are drop down blanks in reading. and also the tasks in listening which impact the writing score. Again, I'm repeating, don't worry much about your actual writing skills. Focus on the drop-down blanks in reading, focus on listening blanks, focus on write from dictation. If these 3 tasks are done, you're done with PTE. Alright, don't worry, you'll clear it soon. Give me good news as soon as you can, Abhishek. All the best. Thank you. Well, I'm just looking if any other questions are there. Fussy Rahman is asking, hi Fussy, good to see you here. Sir, what is the best strategy for WFD? Is it memorizing or writing? So definitely memorizing is not that good, Fussy, but as you know, many times questions are repeated. So just practice the repeated questions at least 2 times. At least 2 times I would suggest, because high chances are that the questions are repeated anyway in PT. So if they come again, you will have an advantage, you'll have an upper hand, and definitely you'll get a high score. Because if you make spelling mistakes and grammar mistakes and write from dictation, it is a problem. It is a big problem. So best is not to take a chance and practice as much as you can. And if your question is like, should you keep it in your mind or should you start writing immediately? You should start writing immediately, but you should keep on saying the sentence in your mind. Till the full stop is there, keep on repeating the sentence in your mind, because I think that's very effective in write from dictation. Just keep on saying it in your mind in the same tone the speaker says it. All right. So hope I've answered your question as well. Thank you. Thank you, Abhishek. Well, Jason has a question. For SWT, do we have to copy words exactly from the passage or can we use good synonyms? So Jason, feel free to use synonyms. You don't need to copy. Feel free to use synonyms, definitely. But at least take few words from the passage, obviously. The main words you should pick up from the passage, because at the end of the day, it's a software which analyzes the score, which analyzes our task. If the main words from the passage are not there, obviously the software might think that something is missing. Content might be affected. So just keep it a good balance. Words from the passage, words which are synonyms, and you'll be good to go. All right, don't worry much. All right, Ovi has one more question. From where can we practice fill in the blanks? So Ovi, the one-stop solution is called PTE Tutorials. You can definitely practice from our app, PTE Tutorials. It's a fantastic app. It has many questions for reading, and writing blanks both. So definitely practice from PTE Tutorials. And if you need more questions, you feel free to buy tests from our website, from ptetutorials.com. We have got 50 tests in ptetutorials.com on our portal. 50 tests is a lot of material, and the quality of questions of reading is pretty good. Sometimes it's more than the actual test itself. It's higher than the actual test itself. So do practice from ptetutorials.com. All right, friends. So friends, it was a very interactive session, and I'm really happy that all of you are asking so many questions. Well, one more question. Abhishek has one more question. Sir, what would have gone wrong? Even I scored 90 in reading, but I got 67 in listening, even though I did my WFD 100% correct. 67 in listening, but how much in writing? That is the main question. And how much in speaking? That is the second main question. These are just 2 scores you've written, but what about speaking and what about writing? Without those 2, how to comment? Why did you get 67 in listening? But the chances are maybe you could have made mistakes in repeat sentence. Maybe you started to, okay, he has written his score. He has got 90 in speaking and 72 in writing. So Abhishek, the reason could be listening blanks. Maybe if you have made mistakes, even if you have left the blanks, maybe the score is down because of that. And you're saying you got 90 in reading, which is excellent. Really, that's an amazing score. You've got 90 in reading. Well, then it seems to be that you made mistakes in summarized spoken text. You've written some wrong spellings. I think that you made some major mistakes in summarized spoken text. Otherwise, writing should have been high. Secondly, as I said, fill in the blanks. Except these 2, I don't see why your writing score is so low. And again, you're saying that you got 100% right and write from dictation, but maybe you made one mistake. Difficult to say, but maybe. I don't know, but maybe. And other than that, Maybe you picked up less content in retail lecture. That could also be one of the possible reasons for your low score in listening. And yes, summarize spoken text. That's all. I don't see any other reason. All right. But good, you got all the dictations right. All right. So I think it's been almost 1 hour since the video started, almost 45 minutes. I'm sorry. So we'll end the lecture today with this, on this note. And one more question. Monzurul is asking, sir, how to practice describe image? Well, for describe image, just pick up any image and start talking about it. Don't use your brain too much. Just start speaking about it. I don't know if you're aware, but there used to be a game called Jam. The full form of Jam is just a minute. Just a minute means you start talking anything about anything. For example, I pick up the phone, I start talking. In front of me, I can see a phone. The phone is gray in color. It has a black screen. Xperia is written on it. I can see a lens at the back. I can see a silver button on the side. I can also see 2 buttons on the side of the phone. Sony is written in white fonts on the top of my phone. I can also see speakers, and I can also see a charging port at the bottom of my phone. Overall, I can say it's a very beautiful phone, and it is very effective in day-to-day communication. So just start speaking. Don't fumble. Don't think. Requires just a bit of practice. After practice, things improve automatically. But the thing is, you need to start thinking in English. Once you start thinking in English, your tongue will start speaking in English. The flow will be there automatically. All right, so just practice it for 1 hour. It should be enough. Just practice like 50 questions in 50 minutes. You're done. All right. Hi, Anisha. Hello. Thanks for joining in. Well, friends, I think I'll end the session now and hope to see you all soon, very soon, maybe next week. Till then, keep on practicing. Think PTE, think PTE Tutorials. And for all of those of you who are in Melbourne, we do offer free trial classes as well. Our office is located on level 2, 290 Collins Street. You can feel free and attend a free trial class as well from Monday to Thursday. Morning time is 10 to 12 and evening time is 6 to 8. So come any day from Monday to Thursday for a free demo class as well. All right. Now there's one more question. Rajinder has joined, and the question Rajinder is asking is, I want to know PTE material is repeating in exams. Yes, it is repetitive. Sometimes it is repetitive, but we should not just depend on the repeated material because it's very random. If you're lucky, you get like more % of the questions repeated. If you're, a bit non-lucky or unlucky, questions won't be repeated that many also. So don't rely on repeated materials. If yes, where we find repeated questions like reading? And I also want to know what is the difference between your coaching and general practice. So I don't get the question. What is the difference between coaching and general practice? What does that mean? Well, in coaching, definitely there is a tutor, and the tutor gives you tests, and the tutor regularly checks the tests. And obviously, if you send me a mail, obviously your essay or your speaking task, I'll give you the feedback for that. So I think that is the difference between coaching and general practice, right? In coaching, there is somebody for feedback, to give you feedback. In general practice, there is nobody to give you feedback. But definitely, you can join our group on Telegram. Telegram is an app, just like WhatsApp. The name of our group is PTE Tutorials. Just join PTE Tutorials group on Telegram. You have tons and tons of free material on the group. Feel free to use it, definitely. It's very good material. And also, there are mentors who have got a very high score in PT. Even they are there to guide you, including myself. I am also a part of that group. So feel free to post your questions over there as well. The name of the group is PTE Tutorials. All right. Thank you, Rajinder. Thank you. I have joined, but nobody giving a response. So, okay. I'll let my admin know in PTE Tutorials, and definitely they'll take up your case and definitely they will respond to you. I'll remember your name, Rajinder Buttar. Thank you for commenting. Well, Abu also has a question. Is it worldwide? Yes, sir. The group is worldwide. It's on Telegram. So you just need to join your app. You just need to install Telegram on your app and then you start using it. It's free. I think it may be banned in some countries in the Middle East. I'm not sure, but maybe in a few countries it may be banned. If it is banned, I don't know if you can use some proxy service to reach it, but you'll have to do some research for using it. I'm not sure about that, but thanks for asking anyway. Abhishek is saying, please post this live session, please, so I can hear it again. Yes, definitely, Abhishek. I will post it on the Aussies group page as well, so you can definitely listen to it again. And I'll be waiting for the good news. As soon as you get 79 each, do let me know. Hopefully it will be much sooner than later. Alright, so thank you very much for joining in, everyone. Hope you have a great time. My name is Malcolm and I'm your PTE coach. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Thank you.